Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope you are fine. Lecture for grade 10, subject chemistry, chapter number 9, lecture number 4, and here is Mrs. Saira Jamal. Dear students, today I'm going to talk about the importance of equilibrium constant. What is equilibrium constant? Kc. Kc is called equilibrium constant. And what is the importance of that Kc? Kc is used to determine the equilibrium concentration of equilibrium mixture, knowing the initial concentration of reactants. If two things we know, the first one is the value of Kc and the second thing is the initial concentration of the reactants, then we can find out the concentration of the equilibrium mixture. Equilibrium mixture is a mixture at equilibrium state which contains all the reactants and products in it. We can also predict the direction of a chemical reaction, that either the reaction is going on in forward direction or it favors in the reverse direction. Kc can also be used to predict the extent of a chemical reaction. Extent means how much reactants or products are present at equilibrium state. The fourth importance is predict the effect of change in conditions. What conditions? Conditions are concentration, temperature, pressure, etc. of the chemical reaction on the equilibrium state. If we change concentration of any of the reactant and product, what will happen to the equilibrium state? We can predict that change in the equilibrium state by using this Kc value. Society, technology and science, very important topic. Le Chatelier's principle. Le Chatelier's principle states that if you impose a change in concentration, temperature or pressure on a chemical system at equilibrium, the system responds in a way that opposes the change. If we uh, change any of these conditions, what will happen? The system will try to resist against that change, and then the system will attain a new equilibrium state. If you change any one of these conditions, the system will try to attain a new equilibrium state by resisting against these changes. This is called Le Chatelier principle. Then what are the importance of Le Chatelier's principle? Importance of Le Chatelier principle: reversible reactions do not go to completion, hence such reactions are not economical for the large scale production of chemicals. You know that reversible reactions do not go to completion. When the product is formed, the product is converted back into the reactant. So when the product is converted back into the reactant, how can we get large amount of product? Hence, such reactions are not economical for the large scale production of chemicals. However, with the help of this principle, we can obtain maximum amount of products from reversible reactions. Application of Le Chatelier principle: at normal condition, the components of air like nitrogen gas and oxygen gas are present in air, and they are used in producing ammonia and sulfuric acid in very low yield. Means the product will be very low. Both of these processes are reversible reactions. However, Le Chatelier's principle has made it possible to get maximum yield. This principle help us to get large amount of product or to get maximum yield. How we can get maximum yield? First, equilibrium is established in the presence of catalyst in minimum time or in short time. and then by increasing pressure and decreasing temperature, equilibrium is shifted towards the right. Such conditions tend to increase the yield of ammonia and sulfur trioxide to about how many percent or how much percent? 98%. As I told you that if we want to establish equilibrium in short time, then we have to use catalyst. The reaction will also continue or it will happen in the absence of a catalyst as well. But in the absence of catalyst, the reaction will take more time. But in the presence of catalyst, the reaction will be completed in short time, or equilibrium state can be attained at in short time. Example number one, production of ammonia. Ammonia can be produced by the reaction of nitrogen with hydrogen gas. This is a reversible reaction and produces only 33% of ammonia at equilibrium. At normal condition, by using this reaction, we will get only 33% of ammonia, which is uneconomical. So how can we increase the yield of ammonia? We can increase the yield of ammonia by using the Le-Chatelier's principle. By using the Le-Chatelier principle, the yield of ammonia can be increased till 98%. How? By increasing pressure and by decreasing temperature. First, equilibrium is established in the presence of a catalyst in minimum time, and when equilibrium is established, then by increasing pressure and decreasing temperature, equilibrium is shifted towards right. This process is known as Haber's process. The question arises how by increasing the pressure, the reaction will go in the forward direction. So let us see, students, there is 1 mole of nitrogen and 3 moles of hydrogens are there. Total number of moles are 4. 4 moles are reactants and 2 moles are the products. So you know that, and we have learned it before in Boyle's law, that according to Boyle's law, by increasing pressure, by increasing pressure, the volume of a gas decreases. It means that the number of moles, here we have 4 moles and at the product side we have 2 moles. It means the volume is less at the forward direction. So when we will increase the pressure, what will happen? The reaction will go in that direction where we have less volume, and less volume or less number of moles are present at the product side. That's why by increasing the pressure, the reaction will go in the forward direction because there the volume is lesser than the reactants. And again, by decreasing temperature means that this reaction is exothermic reaction, and you know that the forward reaction is exothermic. A forward reaction is exothermic. If the forward reaction is exothermic, then it will go in the forward direction if we decrease the temperature, because the exothermic reaction will favor only at low temperature. So by decreasing temperature, because the forward reaction is exothermic, and by increasing pressure, because the number of moles of products are lesser than the number of moles of the reactant, or in other words, the volume of the product is smaller than the volume of the reactants. This process is known as Haber's process. Haber process, ammonia is produced by the reaction of nitrogen with hydrogen at low temperature. I told you is 450 degrees centigrade, and high pressure is 200 atmospheric pressure. And very important for the MCQ point of view, which catalyst is used in Haber process or for the production of ammonia? So the answer is iron. This process is known as Haber's process. Second example is production of sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is produced by a process called contact process, and it takes place in certain steps. The first step is the oxidation of sulfur to give sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide on further oxidation will give sulfur trioxide, and this sulfur trioxide is then converted into sulfuric acid. You can see in this reaction, oxidation of sulfur, oxidation you know is addition of oxygen. Sulfur reacts with oxygen and will form sulfur dioxide. So we will call it oxidation of sulfur. Then further oxidation of the sulfur dioxide or reaction of sulfur dioxide with oxygen will give sulfur trioxide. This sulfur trioxide is then converted into sulfuric acid. How this is the reaction at normal condition, and again only 33% of product is formed by this process. So we want to increase the yield. How can we increase the yield of sulfuric acid? Again, the same thing. The yield of sulfuric acid can be increased till 98% by increasing pressure. Again, you can see the number of moles of the reactant are 2 moles are sulfur dioxide and 1 mole is oxygen. So 2 plus 1, 3 moles, and the product is only 2 moles. So the volume of the product is smaller than the volume of the reactant, or the number of moles of products are lesser than the number of moles of the reactant. So by increasing the pressure, the reaction will go in that direction where the volume is smaller or where the number of moles are lesser. That's why we will increase the pressure, and by increasing the pressure, the reaction will go in the forward direction. And secondly, the reaction is exothermic in the forward direction, and the exothermic reaction will favor only at low temperature. So that's why we will decrease the temperature and increase the pressure. Then the reaction will move in the forward direction and we can get more product. First, equilibrium is established in the presence of catalyst. Again, very important. Which catalyst is used in contact process? We can use platinum or vanadium pentaoxide, any one of these two, in minimum time. Then by increasing pressure and decreasing temperature, temperature is 450 degrees centigrade and pressure is 200 atmosphere. So we can get the pure sulfuric acid. How much pure sulfuric acid? 100% sulfuric acid. Macroscopic characteristics for the forward reaction and for the reverse reaction. You know that the macroscopic characteristic or the forward and reverse reaction takes place in a reversible reaction. This is an example of a reversible reaction. Nitrogen react with hydrogen to form ammonia. Double arrows form. The double arrows shows the reversible reaction. So forward reaction is nitrogen will react with 3 moles of hydrogen will form 2 moles of ammonia. So it is written from left to right, and the reactants react together to produce products. Rate is fastest in the beginning and gradually slows down. Why rate is fastest in the beginning? Because more reactants are there, so the reactants will react together and will give product in the forward direction. Reverse reaction, for the same reversible reaction, ammonia will be the reactant and nitrogen and hydrogen will be the product in the reversible case. You can see, if you see this reversible reaction, it moves from, or it is written from right to left, and the products, the 2 moles of the product will react together to form the, or to give the reactants. Rate is 0 in the beginning. Rate is 0 in the beginning because when we start the practical, there is no product. So there is no reversible reaction. But after some time when the reactants react together and will form some product, then the product will react together to give back the reactants. So that's why its rate is 0 in the beginning and then gradually speeds up. Concepts in brief, that is the last topic of the chapter. That is just a summary of the chapter. Chemical reaction, which we studied. The chemical reactions are of 2 types, reversible reactions and irreversible reaction. Reversible reaction takes place in both direction, in forward as well as in reverse direction, while irreversible reactions takes place only in one direction. Then the reversible reactions are of 2 types, forward reaction and reverse reaction. Forward reaction is written from left to right and reverse reaction is written from right to left. Then for this reversible reaction, we have a law which is called law of mass action, and according to this law, a state is a reversible reaction is reached at a state which is called chemical equilibrium state. At that chemical equilibrium state, the rate of forward reaction becomes equal to the rate of reverse reaction. And then from this law of mass action, by using this equilibrium property, a constant called Kc has derived, and the importance of that Kc is that it is used to predict the direction of a chemical reaction. to predict the extent of a chemical reaction, and to predict the effect of change in concentration or temperature or pressure of a reaction in equilibrium state. Coming towards the exercise MCQs, encircle the correct answer. The first MCQ is, which is true about the equilibrium state? First, the forward reaction stops. Dear students, I told you that at equilibrium state, the reaction never stops, because we discussed it before that at equilibrium state at equilibrium state, the rate of forward reaction becomes equal to the rate of reverse reaction, and the reaction continues at molecular level in dynamic equilibrium. So the forward reaction stop, this is wrong. The reverse reaction stop, again wrong. Both forward and reverse reaction stop, wrong. The correct option is both forward and reverse reactions continue at the same rate. Yes, this is the correct option. MCQ number 2, when a mixture of hydrogen and iodine is sealed in a flask. Why is it sealed in a flask? Because I told you that equilibrium is established only in a closed system. This is one of the conditions to establish an equilibrium state, is that the system must be a closed system. So that's why these gases are sealed in a flask, and temperature is kept at 25 degree centigrade. Following equilibrium is established, hydrogen gas when react with iodine gas, it will form 2 moles of hydrogen iodide. Which substance or substances will be present in the equilibrium state? Equilibrium mixture, only the reactants, hydrogen and iodine? No. Only the products, hydrogen iodide? Only one of the reactant, hydrogen? Or all of the reactants and products? So yes, this is the correct option, that at the equilibrium mixture contain all the reactants and products in it. So you can see reactants are hydrogen and iodine, and products is hydrogen iodide. Number 3, what are the units for nitrogen when react with oxygen to form nitrogen dioxide? Dear students, I told you when the number of moles of reactants are equal to the number of moles of product, and for those type of reversible reaction, or for those types of reversible reaction, the Kc has no unit. The Kc has no unit. So correct option is D, no unit. Why? Because number of moles of reactants are equal to the number of moles of product. Number 4, which of the following reaction will not have any units of Kc? Let us see the first case. 1 plus 1, 2 moles are the reactant. 1 plus 1, 2 moles are the product. In this case, the number of moles of reactants are equal to the number of moles of product. So Kc has no unit. Second case, 1 plus 1, 2 moles are the reactants and 2 moles are the product. Again, no unit of Kc. 2 plus 1, 3 moles are the reactant, 3 moles are the product, no unit. So in all of these 3 cases, Kc will have no unit, because the number of moles of reactants are equal to the number of moles of products. Number 5, concentration of reactants and products at equilibrium remains unchanged if, as we discussed it before, that at equilibrium state, the concentration of reactants and products, they are constant. So at equilibrium state, the concentration of reactants and products will remain unchanged if we will not change any one of these conditions. We discussed it before, the conditions of equilibrium, that concentration of any of the reactant or product is not changed, temperature must be not changed, pressure must be not changed. If you will not change concentration, temperature or pressure, then the reaction will remain in equilibrium state. But if you will change any one of these conditions, the reaction will no longer will be in equilibrium state. Equilibrium will get disturbed. So all of the above are observed. Which of the following does not happen when a system is at equilibrium state? At equilibrium state, forward and reverse reaction stop. No, forward and reverse reaction continue at equilibrium state. Forward and reverse rate becomes equal. Yes, the forward and reverse reaction, the rate of forward and reverse reaction becomes equal. This is correct. Concentration of reactants and products stop changing. Yes, this is the definition of the equilibrium state, that at equilibrium state, the concentration of the reactants and products become constant. Become constant means will not change. Reaction continues to occur in both the direction, yes, in forward direction as well as in reverse direction. So the correct option is forward and reverse reaction stop. This does not happen at equilibrium state. Number 7, for which reaction Kc has units of mole per decimeter cube? The first case is 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide will give 1 mole of nitrogen tetraoxide. Second case, 1 mole of nitrogen will react with 3 moles of hydrogen. So total number of moles of reactant are 3 plus 1, 4, and 2 moles are the product, 2 moles of ammonia. In the third case, 1 mole is the reactant and 2 moles are the product. In the fourth case, 2 moles are the reactant and 2 moles are the product. So for the last case, when 2 moles of reactant and 2 moles of product are there, number of moles of reactants are equal to number of moles of product. So in this case, the Kc has no unit. Let us see for the rest of the cases. The first one is 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide react together to form 1 mole of nitrogen tetraoxide. So we will write the product in numerator and the reactants in denominator. As there are 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide, so the coefficient is 2. That coefficient we will write as an exponent or as a power. By putting the value mole per decimeter cube for nitrogen tetraoxide, mole per decimeter cube square for nitrogen dioxide. So 1 mole per decimeter cube will cancel out with 1 mole per decimeter cube in the denominator. As a result, mole per decimeter cube, 1 over mole per decimeter cube will left behind. This mole per decimeter cube, when we will transfer it at the upper side or in numerator, the positive term will get negative and the negative term become positive. So the positive mole become negative mole and the negative decimeter cube become positive decimeter cube. Second case, and this is not our required unit because our required unit mole is positive and decimeter cube is negative. In this case, mole is negative and decimeter cube is positive. So this is not our required option. In second case, ammonia is the product with coefficient 2 and nitrogen and hydrogen are the reactants. So we will write the product in numerator and reactants in the denominator. By putting the values, you can see this square for ammonia and no need to write 1 and this 3 is for the hydrogen. These 2 moles per decimeter cube will cancel out with 2 moles in the denominator, but still 1 mole is left here and 1 mole is here. So 1 plus 1 are 2 moles. So when these 2 moles will go up, the positive term become negative, that is mole plus mole, that will be 2. So when it will go up, become negative 2 and the negative terms will get positive. So minus 3 and minus 3 will give us positive 6. Again, this is not our required unit. The C case products are the phosphorus trichloride and chlorine, and phosphorus pentachloride is the reactant. By putting the values, you can see the 2 mole per decimeter cube are in the numerator and 1 mole per decimeter cube is in denominator. So out of the 2, 1 will cancel out with the denominator one. This mole per decimeter cube in numerator will left. That is our required unit. You can see mole and per decimeter cube, which is in negative. So this is the correct option. C is the correct option. In D case, I told you that the number of moles of reactants are equal to the number of moles of product. 2 moles of reactant are up and 2 moles are down, so they will cancel out. As a result, the Kc will have no unit. Number 8, in an irreversible reaction, equilibrium is established quickly, established slowly, never established, established when reaction stops. So you know that for irreversible reaction, there is no equilibrium state. So how can equilibrium be established in an irreversible reaction? This equilibrium state is only, or equilibrium is only the property of a reversible reaction. Correct option is never established. Active mass means that total mass of reactants, total mass of products, total mass of reactants and products, mass of a substance in moles per decimeter cube in a dilute solution. So yes, this is the correct option. Active mass means concentration in moles per decimeter cube for a dilute solution, because we are making solution in water. So definitely we will add water in it, which will make the solution a dilute solution. The last MCQ is for a reversible reaction. Kc equal to product we always write in nominator, and the reactants we always write in the denominator. Which substance is product of the reaction? Definitely I told you C is the product, A reactant, B reactant, both A and B are reactant, and C is the product. So the correct option is C. Question number 2, give short answers of the following. The first question is differentiate between forward and reverse reaction. I already told you the answer of forward reaction and reverse reaction. It is written from left to right, it is written from right to left. Product produce, in this case, reactant produce product produce reactant. Rate is fastest in the beginning and gradually slow down. Its rate is 0 in the beginning and gradually speeds up. Then second question is, what is chemical equilibrium? Chemical equilibrium is a state in which the rate of forward reaction is equal to the rate of backward reaction. There are two types of chemical equilibrium, static equilibrium and dynamic equilibrium. Static equilibrium is also called mechanical equilibrium, occurs when all the particles at equilibrium state are at rest and there is no motion between reactants and products. So, for example, turning of graphite into diamond is one of the example. Dynamic equilibrium is the type of equilibrium where the reaction does not stop but continue at molecular level. In other words, there is no net change in concentration of reactant and product, but still the reaction is going on in both directions. This kind of equilibrium is called the dynamic equilibrium. Dynamic equilibrium means a state of balance between continuing processes. If there are two processes which are going on, there is a balance between the forward and reverse reaction. So we will call it dynamic equilibrium. The third question is state the law of mass action. Law of mass action is proposed by two chemists, C.M. Goldberg and P. Wag. In 1864, they propose a general description of the equilibrium condition or equilibrium state, which is called law of mass action. It states that the rate at which a substance reacts is proportional to its active mass, and the rate of chemical reaction is proportional to the product of the active masses of the reacting substances. Suppose A and B are the reactants, they will react together and will form the product, and this double arrows show the reversible reaction. As in this case, they show active mass. What is active mass? And active mass is considered as the concentration of reactants and products in units of mole per decimeter cube expressed as square brackets. This active mass, we represent it in square bracket, which shows that it is a mass in moles per decimeter cube. Condition of equilibrium, although I told you before in detail, what are the conditions of equilibrium? The first condition is an equilibrium is achievable only in closed container or system in which substance neither leave or enter. At equilibrium, the reaction does not stop. Forward and reverse reaction keep on taking place at the same rate but in opposite direction. An equilibrium state is attainable from either way, like if you start from product side or if you start from reactant side. At equilibrium state, the amount concentration of reactants and products do not change. Concentration of reactant and product become constant. Temperature of the system must be kept constant. Concentration must be kept constant. Pressure must be kept constant. And if you change any one of these conditions, then the equilibrium will disturb. But the equilibrium can again be achieved under the given condition of concentration, pressure, and temperature. If you will not change again these out of any of these conditions, then a new equilibrium will achieve. So hope you will understand this lecture. Inshallah, we'll meet you in next lecture. Until then, Allah.